training purposes to make sure that you're reinforcing with your students what you should do.
Exactly what I'm going to do. Even in this situation, which is controlled and I knew he was coming up, things miss. My first thing that I went for was get my hands up and get him bent. I'm controlling the hand here, and I immediately came across into a cupped hand strike. Then started working my strikes up against the vehicle. I came to this hard edge, and that's where I wanted the strikes to happen, was the hard edge. Everything stayed tight inside, and then once I got him up against it, that's when the slamming happened. Now what happens in this situation is that if he had a knife, which he does, and he had pulled it, I've controlled it up against the vehicle. Go ahead and get your knife, hold it in your hand, don't come out with it. So I can slam the knife down while working the head. But I don't have a means of escape at this point because I'm blocked back here. That's why confined spaces are so important, is realizing where our walls are. At this point, to escape, I would have to come around and push him back and then make my way backwards. Or, come back, from here, I could bring him around and drive him into there and then make my way. These are the things that we have to concern ourselves with. Our initial strikes, how do we get that person off of us quickly? Then what are we doing to control them at that point and drive them to our hard edges? Then we have to figure out, are we going to fight or are we going to make an escape? So let's look at an actual physical representation of what the vehicles do to another person when you're working against them. We're going to look at how to weaponize this a little bit. Now that we've looked at, okay, I've walked up to the car, I've observed, I'm acting, I'm deciding, I'm doing all these things, Matt, but the guy got the jump on me and he's ready to go. Now I got to fight. How am I going to do it? So working with Chris here, he's going to come on in. I want to demonstrate a couple of things to you. As you can see, right here is perfect against the lumbar. Go ahead and turn around. Obviously, there. Now, I want you to notice something, and this is the way it is on most cars. Turn around. Oh, a little different, right? Yeah. And that's because there's a curvature here versus here we have a very rigid line. So, up against the hood, you really have to drive against the back. And we'll look at how to do that in a moment. Come on around with me. In here, once the door is open, you have back here, up there, turn around. You have the side, the head, you have the chin and the neck. The next area you have, and Craig, you might want to just come on around here, the old Pramek live action shots. The next trick you have is there, straight down into the door. That would hurt, right? You can either do it by the head, by there. If the body is turned, what you're gonna do is you're gonna sweep down and into it, come away from it a little bit here. You're gonna bring it back and down and into it. So the window can also cut you up and do some damage. You can do a lot with it beyond just slamming it onto the person. If you can get them, stand here, in between, slamming it up against them to trap them, be able to make an escape. Come on out. Same thing applies up here. Then once we go up here, we're looking at the same thing. Lower back, come back up, turn around, waist. It's about organizing the fight. Now, another area that you have is, come over here, up against the wall over here is, just relax, is kicking and pushing back up against there, into there, kicking that because it's driving it back up against the vehicle. Down here, sweeping that underneath there and kicking that under there if you can, up. You'll see that basically what you've done is you've trapped it right there and then you're shearing it back up across. There's a number of ways that you can do this. The most important thing to remember is you're looking at the hard, rigid edges that you can assault the body against.